It is such a beautiful, calm spring day here in Scotland today. There is not a cloud in the sky. Gosh, it's beautiful, so, so beautiful. And I'm heading out today to do a lovely walk down by one of my local rivers. I'm going to share a little exercise with you in this video about really beginning to tune into your senses and use your other senses other than just your sense of sight to enhance your photographic experience. So of course, photography is a very visual art form. We're very used to using our eyes to see the world around us, to see opportunities and to create our images. But I find that when we engage our other senses, it can really enhance the experience. And we often end up finding things to photograph which we may not have seen otherwise. And often it can also help us to relax and feel more peaceful as well, which I personally think is a really lovely state to be in when we're out creating images. This is an exercise that I use in pretty much all of my in-person workshops, and I also have a lovely audio file as well which can take you through this, which I'll speak a little bit more about later. But really I wanted to share this video with you as an opportunity to show you how I use this exercise myself out in the field to really enhance my photographic process and make the experience even more special. A number of years ago, I was hired by one of the local tourism boards to create 1,000 images of this beautiful part of Scotland. And this was one of the viewpoints that I came to. I don't think it's hard to see why. It's absolutely beautiful. The sound of trickling water, it's so calming and so beautiful on a warm day like today. So I wanted to find a really nice peaceful spot down by the river, and I think I've found that. I've come to this beautiful area here. It's almost like, well it is, it's this bend. You've got the river coming down here and then it goes all the way around here to a lovely shingle embankment. This exercise that I'm going to share with you today is something that you can do anywhere, but I do find if you're in a peaceful location that it really enhances the experience, because essentially you're going to go through your 5 senses. And what I find with this exercise is that it really enables us to begin to connect with a location. And even if you're somebody that comes to the same locations time and time again, every time you go there, things will be a little bit different. The weather will be different, you'll be feeling different, the seasonal changes that come and go. But especially when you do come to somewhere new, this can be just a really nice place to get to know that spot and before you even begin to do photography. And if you're somebody who experiences anxiety and stress, this can just be a really nice way to help you to get out of your mind and connect more with nature. So it's got many wellness benefits as well. It's a very, very mindful exercise. So I'm going to speak you through this exercise now just to give you a sense of what it's about, and then you can incorporate it into your own practice in a way that works for you. But the first thing I like to do when I come onto a location is just to begin the process of looking around. So I initially do a kind of scan of the location. I see what the light's doing, where the sun is, what's moving, what physical objects are available to me. And then I'll often begin to then bring in the other senses. And I find, particularly if you're quite new to this, it can be really beneficial to actually close your eyes when you're doing this, because when you close your eyes, your other senses become much more heightened and alert. And what I do is I very slowly begin to go through all of the senses. And usually the first one I'll tune into is the sense of sound. We're all different, but I personally find that after sight, sound tends to be the most heightened sense. And especially when you're out in nature, there's always something to hear. So if I close my eyes and go quiet for a few moments, I can hear the the movement of the water. There's a rushing sound coming from in front of me, and there's also a rushing sound coming from the right of me. And I'm aware that the water in front of me is very still today, but the fact that there's rushing coming from both of those locations would say to me that there's a lot more motion in the water there, maybe some rapids, some rocks, some things that the water's moving over. I can also hear the bird song, which is pretty loud today, and it gives me a sense that there's quite a lot of life here and things that will be moving around to photograph. And every now and again the breeze gets up and there's rustling coming from the trees. It's not that loud today because we're still in early spring, so most of the trees still remain bare. But what's also interesting, and it's just hit me, is there's still some dead leaves from last year falling off the trees, making some sound. The next thing that I tend to tune into is feeling. So I'll first bring my attention to whether I can feel anything against my skin. And today there is this gentle breeze coming through every now and again, which I can feel on my arms and my face. And with the sun being out, there's also this heat, which is particularly warming up my legs. And then I like to bring my awareness to actually what's beneath me. So today I'm sitting down and I can feel the cold of the rock that I'm sitting on. And if I was to be standing right now, I'd be able to feel the earth below my feet. But today, I'm feeling the coldness of the rock. And I then like to bring my awareness to actually how I feel inside, How does these things that I'm sensing in the external world make me feel internally? And as we all interpret the world differently, this response particularly will be very different for us all. But for me, the heat is making me feel warm, even a sense of love. The sound of the water is putting me into a state of peace and calm. And the rock below me is making me feel this sense of grounding, of rooting, which is really nice to consider. And the next sense I like to bring my awareness to is the sense of smell. Now, I personally haven't got the strongest sense of smell. And although right now I can't really smell anything, I do recall when I was walking here, there was this fresh smell from some of the greenery that I was walking through, which was really nice. And I like to bring my awareness to, when I'm breathing in and out, actually how that feels. If there's like a freshness or a coolness in the air, which today there definitely is. As I breathe in, there's that coolness, breathe out, there's the heat. And the last sense is the sense of taste, which is very closely linked to smell. And sometimes when you're out in nature, you may taste this freshness, this earthiness, the sweet aromas from any plants and that you may be around. And then once I've gone through all of the senses and I've considered what's going on around me, but also how I'm feeling and what I'm sensing in myself, I then open my eyes and begin to see all of these things that my other senses have picked up on. And I also like to bring my awareness to what is the first thing that I notice, because to me that's connecting with something that really speaks to me. And right now, for me today, it's beautiful, beautiful ripples in the water quite close to me. And then as I begin to look around, there's a beautiful bright light here from the sun. There's some fantastic lines and shapes with the froth over here. A whole magnitude of things to photograph. And because I've taken the time to tune in to the landscape in a more intentional way, it enables me to feel more peaceful and relaxed. So when I then go to create my photographs, they're much more intentional. I feel more when I'm creating my images, and I believe that how we feel when we create our images can often be felt in the images. I don't know if you've ever experienced, seeing something absolutely incredible, like a sunset or some sort of wildlife. And then every time you look at that photo after that moment, it has so much more meaning to you and so much more emotion in it than images that you just kind of photograph because you feel you have to, or if you're not really feeling it. But this exercise of really slowing down and going through your senses, it enables you to get in tune with yourself, it enables you to calm yourself down. I guess more physiologically, it's calming down your nervous system. And I just think it's a beautiful mindful exercise that you can then take forward into your photography. And that's exactly what I'm going to do now. I'm going to start photographing the things that I'm now seeing and sensing, because I've taken the time to ground myself in this location before creating my images. So my lens of choice today is my 100-400mm Nikkor Z Lens, because I'm going to zoom in to the water to photograph some of the beautiful ripples and things. Wow. Now this might not be very good for my camera, but this is so creative and brilliant. Down here, where the sun is reflecting on the water, and we've got this really bright area, photograph them a bit further over so that it's away from the rocks. Zooming into this and having the image out of focus, it's creating this beautiful, like glistening, dancing light. And like bokeh effect, it's absolutely phenomenal. It's so beautiful.
I was absolutely mesmerised by these images. To me, they felt like portals into another world. While I did some editing to reduce the highlights and bring out the contrast, I decided not to crop them, leaving each portal exactly how it wanted to be shown. To increase the magical effect, I cooled down the temperature to create this otherworldly electric blue. Towards the end of photographing the reflected light, some foam came downstream and framed the portal, adding what my imagination perceived to be specks of stardust. You never quite know what magical creation or galaxy you will find hidden within.
How interesting. The leaves in the water that were brought to my attention by the fact that one fell from the tree, made a lovely rustling noise as it came down and then hit me on the hand. I've just been zooming in and photographing them, and there's all these creatures in the water. I'm wondering if they might be like pond skater type things. That's what they look like. There's so many of them, and they're all darting around the water. And some of them are even mounting the leaves. So I don't know if they're currently breeding or if they have just bred and this is them now coming out for the summer. But they're absolutely everywhere. And again, it's something that I'd never seen and probably wouldn't have noticed if I hadn't have been brought, if those leaves hadn't been brought to my attention. This is one of the beautiful things about this exercise. When you start engaging all of your senses, you start noticing so much more. It's so beautiful and magical, and of course very exciting.
What I hadn't noticed at the time was that there was also creatures on the rocks as well as in the water. I had great fun photographing this one mounting the leaf. There were also many opportunities to photograph the leaves without the insects, each one a unique resemblance of the year gone by. And then I saw this insect glistening in the sun. What I hadn't expected was how magical the image would be.
Oh, no way. Oh, I so hope this comes across in the image. I've just found a seal in the river. It's not really a seal, but there's a rock over there that was brought to my attention. Wow. A butterfly. There's a rock over there that was brought to my attention by these beautiful lines within the foam. And when I zoomed into it to photograph it, there's two eyes and a nose, and it looks like a seal's head poking out of the water. I love it when I find images like this.
The seal rock opened up many image possibilities. I couldn't decide which one I preferred best, so I'll share a selection with you. Then I turned to the foam itself. The combination of the swirling patterns and reflections made for some interesting abstract photos.
This is amazing. What a lovely day. And I've just heard some ducks quacking in the distance that were not there when I did the exercise, but they're right over there. How incredible. And again, I would never have seen them if I hadn't have heard them. This 5 senses exercise is genuinely one of my favourite exercises to teach. Usually when I do in-person workshops and courses, I invite the group to come out and we tend to either sit or stand in a circle, and I guide them through this step by step. And we're all out there together doing it together, and it's such a beautiful experience. And what's really interesting is quite often we sense the same things, but sometimes we may hear or sense something different. And I always find at the end of the exercise that people tend to be much more relaxed and present, and you really see it in their images as well. And I wanted to mention this because one of my favourite things to do in life is to go on workshops, retreats, seminars in things that I'm interested in. I think they're fantastic experiences. You get to meet like-minded people, you learn new things, you make memories, and most importantly, it's an adventure and it helps you to grow as a person. And because I enjoy going to things like this so much myself, it's always such an honour to be able to put these events on for other people as well. And in a couple of weeks, I have my coastal mindful photography retreat, which is fully booked. So thank you so much for those who have signed up. I'm so excited. 5 days on the Moray coast. It's going to be amazing. And while that one is fully booked, I do have spaces on my immersive photography weekends. There's one happening in June and there's one happening in October. And these are fantastic opportunities for you to come and learn exercises that can really enhance your photographic process. This senses exercise is always one that I teach as part of that. But the other beautiful thing about it is every single weekend is different because I create exercises specifically connected to the season that we're in. So in June, it's all about summer abundance, and in October, it's all about letting go with the fall. So if you'd like to come to Scotland for one of these events, I'd be so honoured to welcome you. I absolutely love putting on these in-person events. And if you're watching this video in the distant future, I'm sure there'll be other workshops or events happening. So yeah, you can find the details for those on the website as well. Let's get together and create. Make some memories together and share the beautiful art of nature photography. There's nothing quite like it. If you found this exercise useful, and you think it's something that you'd like to implement into your own photographic practice, I've got a guided audio file on my website called the 5 Senses Activation. Now, I personally find doing an exercise like this, particularly if I'm new to it, that having somebody in my ear guiding me through it can be a really nice way to learn the process, but also to get me in the right state of mind to do it. Sometimes we need that little voice of reassurance in our ear to get us through it. So I created this audio file last year. I know some of you have downloaded it. Thank you so much if you have. And I wanted to mention it again today because I really feel this is such a beautiful exercise to implement, not just into your photography, but into your life as well. I personally have found so much benefit from going through the senses and beginning to tune into them. It's a great way to expand our sensual awareness, but it's also a great way to calm down our nervous system and be really present in the moment as well. A beautiful mindful exercise. So if you'd like to experience this and have me in your ear out on location with you, talking you through the steps, you can head over to my website and download that for a small fee. Not only does it give you an experience, but it also means that you can support my work so I can continue to create lovely videos like this to inspire you forwards on your journey. So I hope you find it useful. If you do download it, let me know in the comments how you get on. It's always lovely to hear how it's enhanced your experience. And all that's left to say now is thank you so much for watching. This has been such a beautiful day. We've been so blessed so far in April. It's been sunny every day, so beautiful, it's like summer. And while many people may find these conditions quite challenging for photography, I hope today has given you inspiration to show you that you can even head out in the midday sun and create some images. I hope you've gained value from this video, and it's just given you an extra tool to take out into nature with you when you're doing your photography. I personally find when I intentionally slow down and connect with a location before I create my images, that I often have a much more rewarding experience, and I always, and I genuinely mean this, always come home with photographs that I'm happy with. If that can happen for me, then I believe it can happen for you too. So give this 5 senses exercise a go next time you're out with your camera, and let me know in the comments how you get on. And as always, I wish you a very blessed and creative week.